A few weeks ago, we were in Argentina. Now the circus moves stateside. Welcome to the Circuit of the Americas for round 3 of the 2025 campaign. It's the Americas Grand Prix in the United States as we get ready to yeehaw in Texas. Hello everybody and welcome to the Tissot Sprint for round 3 of the 2025 season. We're almost all ready to go then as the race will go green for a fantastic run around this amazing circuit. It'll be a total of a 10-lap sprint then. Doesn't sound too long, but around this place 10 laps is almost an eternity. It's long, it's twisty, and it's certainly going to be entertaining. Marc Marquez once again starts on pole position, and TNT learned how to barn dance early on in the weekend as Marc Marquez aims to become once again King of COTA. Marc Marquez, King of COTA once again! And Maverick Vinales wins!
That's a wrap, and I can officially welcome you to the Broken Spoke and to Austin, Texas, and you especially because it says keep Austin weird and you're weird.
Just getting into the vibe here in Austin. That is the catchline. Keep Austin weird, and none weirder than Neil Hodgson. I think we can all agree on that one. A bit of line dancing. He wasn't there only because you hadn't arrived. I would like to have seen you doing that.
Yeah, I'm gutted I wasn't there, actually. This looked really good. I mean, Neil was on point, wasn't he?
Not really, but that was what was funny.
Yeah.
Welcome to the grid here in the Circuit of the Americas. We're just waiting for the riders to arrive. They should be behind us imminently, but what a sprint we could have ahead of us here. Earlier, Neil talking about, possible problems for Marc Marquez, even though you could stand here and say he's done everything right. He's topped every session, pole position. He's been utterly brilliant and at 100%. But there's a guy going to come in behind us, Fabio Di Giannantonio, who is absolutely forcing himself forward this weekend.
Yeah, we've got some hungry, other hungry Ducatis. We've got Pecco as well. He's in P6. He's in the inside of the track as well. So, with a good start here, because turn 1 is so tight, you can dive up the inside. You can create a bit of a surprise and try and sit people up. And this is what they're going to have to do if they want to stop Marc. They're going to have to try and stop him early because Marc has been dominating. That said, though, we've got different conditions now. The wind has picked up a lot. It's a lot hotter than it's been. Obviously, yesterday was wet, and the riders have not had a lot of good weather to sort of like get prepared. So they've not spent a lot of time, with the race tires, with the full tank. So race freedom is a little bit of a question mark.
Yeah, I'm just laughing because the panic of the girl that just walked in front of us and she didn't know what to do with herself. Marc Marquez is coming in there just behind us, and 8 pole positions around here, 7 victories, looking for an 8th sprint and race tomorrow, of course. And this, really, the first 3, I think we all thought, we know what he's going to be able to do here. And it's destroying, it's destructive to everybody else, isn't it?
Yeah, he's just here on this particular track. He's always had an advantage, a little bit like in Sachsenring, a little bit like in Aragon, those left-hand turning tracks where he can dominate. Here is also a really physical track. And Marc on that kind of track is very difficult to beat because he can keep that rhythm up. He can sort of like override the bike a little bit and be physical with it for the full race distance. So to be honest, they are going to struggle, but they're going to have to take massive risk. And this is what we're going to see in the first corner, first lap. They're going to have to attack him.
Right, we've got a busy old grid here, as you can probably hear. Let's go back to the 3rd row, going from 9th. Jack Miller for Yamaha. Nat's there with him.
Well, Jack, we saw how strong you were in the wet yesterday. Very different conditions today. Really hot. We've got that wind as well. What are your thoughts ahead of the sprint?
I'm looking forward to it. Quality this morning, obviously with the whole wet day yesterday, it was, basically first day, here today. So we were chasing our tail a little bit this morning with setup, but I think we've made the right steps. And yeah, going off the 3rd road, we'll try and poke our nose at the inside there in turn 1 and see where we can come out at the end. Bike doesn't feel bad, pace feels all right, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Thank you, Jack.
Cheers, eh?
Jack embracing the spirit of Texas there. Pablo Neto is joining us at the front of the grid. What qualifying from VR46, Pablo. We've got Fabio Di Gianantonio behind us in second. Tremendous from him, and Frankie on the second row. Things going okay this weekend?
Always is going to be hard, no? This is MotoGP, and this is the nice of this sport. But yeah, we make a very good qualifying in the last minute because we changed the tire with 30 seconds, so we are very happy for that. But now it's the race, no? We know it's going to be very hard. Mark the piece that he has is very, very good, so it's going to be tough. But anyway, we have to try our best. Also, Frankie in second row, I think he can make a very good race, but it's very, very important to make a very good start on the first lap.
Well, Sylvain was just talking about that, and I said, you know, what can they do to stop this man Mark? Other than get a fantastic start, what have you talked about?
I don't know. If I tell you the truth, I don't know. Maybe he made some mistakes, maybe try to make the overtake to him, try to stop him, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard because he's very fast in this track, even in this track, because in all the tracks are very fast, but anyway, we will try.
Is there a point on the track, or are there any points on the track where you feel if the boys were right behind Mark, they could attack? Are there any weaknesses around here for Marquez?
I think one of the best places is the turn number 12, where is the biggest braking, but we know also that he's making a fantastic break, so I don't know, maybe I have to do something now here.
Well, you just had your chance, you just walked behind us.
It's going trippy something, but it's going to be difficult, but we will try, 100%.
But in terms of where VR46 is at the moment, are you happy with the way the season is going? Because you were obviously on the back foot, you know, with the injury with Fabio.
Looking in the back, in winter test with Dija, we didn't make only 10 kilometers, let's say, and with another bike. So now here, being the second position with Dija, I think we have to be happy, but also we make a mistake in Malaysia when he break the collarbone, so race by race. Now at the moment, I think, of course, we are happy, but always we want more.
Absolutely, that's racing. Pablo, we wish you the best this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. Cheers.
Thank you.
Let's have a little chat, shall we? And we'll let Pablo go. Talk about the man in third position, who's actually used to be in his second position this year, Alex Marquez. He got himself onto the front row, and you know, he's fed up of you know, people saying that he's let Mark go past. I mean, that's ridiculous. Those are people that clearly don't know anything about racing, but he's in it for himself, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Alex Marquez is doing a fantastic start of season. Well, actually, since he stepped on that 2024 Ducati in Barcelona last year at the test after the last race, he's been absolutely amazing. Not left the top two, basically. So he topped Barcelona, then he was there in the winter testing. He's been finishing second to Mark in the first two Grand Prix and the first two sprints.
Yep.
Amazing rhythm. He's the only one, basically, taking the fight to Mark. So yes, so far he's not been able to give him a fight until the end of the race, but he's been extremely competitive, and yeah, so far he's the second best rider out there. So an amazing job by Alex, and hopefully it can carry on like that. It looks like he can put a whole campaign together because he's fitting that 2024 Ducati so well.
Let's go to the second row of the grid where we've got a KTM. We can find Pedro Acosta. I thought we had an interview with Pedro. We haven't, so let's talk about Pedro, shall we? Unfortunately, what's happening is everybody's sort of squashing me, and I've got no sound, so all my wires are out. So let's talk about Pedro, Sylvain. It's great for him to be on the second row. What can he do in the sprint?
Well, Pedro's been amazing. He's the only one splitting the Ducati so far, and he's been great here. So on the time attack, looking really good. We heard that he's not using the mass damper anymore. He's tried to basically change a little bit his package. They have been a little bit struggling since the start of the season, and it looks like he's found a little bit of an edge here. So it's going to be tough to fight with the Ducatis over the race distance. He's going to have to manage his tires, but we know Pedro is supremely fit as well, and this is going to sort of play a role here because, like I said, the track is so physical. Here, the high-speed change of direction, all that first sector where you've got to muscle the bike around with all that aero, the bike feels so heavy, and we know that Pedro Acosta is very physical with the bike and can handle it for the full length for the race. So he'll handle it today, definitely for the sprint, and also for the GP tomorrow.
Yeah, it's also worth mentioning before we go to a break that Pecco Bagnaia is on the second row of the grid, but is qualified in 6th, so he's just managed to squeeze up there, and of course he's going to be hot-footing Marc Marquez as well. But we'll take a little break. When we come back, we're going racing.
Yeah, thank you, Susie. And they desperately needed the ad break down there at TNT Sports. All of her equipment has fallen out. So while they try and get Susie back operational again, we'll remind you. Welcome to everybody watching as well. Hope you enjoy the Tissot Sprint coming up. And we've also got the end of the NASCAR qualifying going on. That's overrunning, actually, by quite a lot. So we've sort of had to merge the commentary systems because the laptop is covering the NASCAR Cup Series. Well, so you can probably hear in the background, and whilst also we cover the action up here. So this is going to be an interesting one. Let's run you through the grid, though. Feel that's important. Marc Marquez is on pole position. He's going to be alongside Fabio Di Giannantonio and Alex Marquez. Digi got the lap time back after a reinstatement for not breaking the yellow flag rules. So that is an important fact to remember. We're gearing up for the start of the Tissot Sprint here for MotoGP. It is round 3, race 5 of the season. What on earth are we going to be pay witness to? It is going to be energetic. Hold on to your hats, folks, because MotoGP is about to go western. Let's send it back downstairs and join Susie Perry as we get ready to go green.
It's deep breath time. Welcome back to the circuit of the Americas. This is the scene down on the grid now as it's starting to clear. Our first race of the weekend, and what a prospect we have ahead of us. Neil Hodgson is in the commentary box alongside Gavin Emmett, and I can't wait for this one, Gav.
Slick tyres, dry track, beautiful blue sunshine. For the first time this weekend, a total unknown. One thing for certain, the king is in his counting house. Marc Marquez on pole as we get ready to go sprinting. Round 3, race 5. Marc Marquez still on pole position. Can he take the high 5 of the high-flying Texas? Welcome to the Circuit of the Americas, a place Marc Marquez calls home. Here's your starting grid then in full. It is Marc Marquez on pole position. Alongside him is Fabio Di Giannantonio after having a lap time reinstated, and Alex Marquez is third. Pedro Acosta alongside Franco Morbidelli and Pecco Bagnaia. Then it's Luca Marini, Juan Mir and Jack Miller lining up. Further down, it is Maverick Vinales, Fabio Quartararo, Phil Minardi, Marco Bezzecchi, Alex Rins, Johan Zarco, Brad Binder, Anea Bastianini, Ayagura, Ralph Fernandez, Augusto Fernandez, Somkat Chancha, and Lorenzo Salvadori. The warm-up lap is on, the race is on, and let's see what's going to happen here as we wait. NASCAR's on both. Let's check in with TNT.
As in track temperature, there is a bit of a breeze, which is quite nice. but it affects the braking zones. I think it's a bit of a tailwind down the back straight, and it's a bit of a headwind up the front straight, so they will have to calculate that as they go around.
Yeah, maybe pushing him down into turn 11 as well. Look, I've just said it before there, Marc Marquez has looked a step ahead. He had his first crash of the weekend back at turn 2 in those wet conditions, but he's looked fast. We expect it around here. He's won here 7 times in MotoGP. How do they make life hard for him?
But off the start, I'm going to say he looked nervous on the grid, I thought. I mean, of course, it's before the start of the race, you're going to be nervous. We were talking to Steve Day about it, and he thought the same. I think sometimes when, I mentioned it to Susie, when you have got a margin, it's a little bit like an FA, it feels like an FA Cup match, where you know that someone's going to win, surely they're going to win. It was like Tamworth against Tottenham. I watched that quite a while back, and Tamworth almost beat Tottenham. They didn't in the end, as it turned out. And I don't know, I just feel like it might not play out like we think.
And turn 1, well, he got caught up in something last year, didn't he?
Yes.
He has a tendency to do it as people dive because they see it as their opportunity to go up there. So you really have to have your wits. I would be unsurprised to see him pulling over to the left-hand side of the track, trying to cover off any move.
Yeah, go defensive up into turn 1. You've got a ridiculous tight corner. Turn 1, turn 11, 12, 15 and the last corner are dive bomb corners. That's how you beat Marc Marquez today. You have to be aggressive and let the brake off.
Yep, you really do. Megan Birch joins me now in the commentary box. Megs, here we go then. What are you thinking? 10 laps ahead of us.
Crash.
Okay, fair it is, but who are you picking?
I'm going to go with Alex because I feel like it should.
Alex to win?
Yes, hopefully.
Full-on Alex Marquez victory.
Well, he seems to do well in sprints.
He's got 2 sprint victories behind him already. Can he have another? The tension starts to rise. Marc Marquez on pole position for the 69th time in his MotoGP career. I don't know why he's sitting down. 97th overall. He lines up on pole position. Roll your sleeves up. Get ready to go then. 10 laps of the Circuit of the Americas. Round 3, race 5 of the season, our 3rd Tissot sprint. Red flag at the front. Green flag at the back. They're telling my job for me. When are we going to head to go green? That's your key. Eyes to the lights. Waiting. Red lights. Green light. Good start on the inside from Alex Marquez. Great start from Marc. He's up straight in towards turn 1. Pecco's coming out of nowhere. And Bagnaia leads. But Marc gets the undercut. Down to turn 2. He'll swing round the outside. Ducati 1-2. And Alex coming round the outside as we head down in towards the Mickey Mouse section for the first time. And Bagnaia cuts back through on Marc. Bagnaia leads. Ducati top 5. Going wide was Di Giannantonio. Forced off by Morbidelli. Acosta goes through, but it's Marc Marquez who's retaken the lead on the inside. Bagnaia's forcing his way through, and Marquez forcing his way through. Oh boy, what a race, and here comes Alex. Well, it didn't take long for Bagnaia to get back into the swing of things.
I think he popped back home and got the thing he was missing.
Yeah, Marc is not pulling his punches as we come through turn 10. What a start.
Turn 10 might change a few things. A lot of things changing on the timing board here. Oh, a little bit of a wobble there. Bit of a contact between
Acosta and Morbidelli.
Yeah.
4th and 5th between each other. Alex now on the back of Bagnaia. Morbidelli's dropped down 6th. Vinales and Martini. Acosta Fernandez has dropped down to 18th place, but he is he still running?
Acosta is about to get passed by Quartararo if he keeps up like this.
Yeah, Quartararo's right there on the attack. And yeah, Acosta's gone wide, you're right.
Yeah.
He took that corner in too deep, and so did Salvadori further
Still hasn't
back.
recovered from Morbidelli.
No, and Ralph Fernandez dropping back 3 places. Salvadori's gone back. Bezzecchi now also. What a crazy start.
Bezzecchi had a bad start.
But this was great from Bagnaia. He needed to improve on qualifying. First time this year he was out the front row. He led for a couple of corners. Amazing start, and he's on that soft rear tyre and medium front, which everybody is, bar Zarco, who's got in a medium front and rear.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be doing too well.
3 wide coming out of turn 18. Alex Marquez takes the lead. Bagnaia's on the inside. Here comes Marc. They're dueling into 19 and 20. This never ever happened to Quartararo's here. Marquez leads. That's Marc, that is. Alex Marquez second. Bagnaia down to third.
He went for it.
But here comes Quartararo. Side by side. End of lap 1. Wow.
He really went for it then. And who's that dropping back a bit? That's Zarco dropping back a few places there. Hasn't crashed, but still dropping back a bit. And
More, but Digi
Costa.
getting ahead of Acosta. That was a bit of a sideways towards turn 1, getting elbowed down. Here's a replay. So what happens? Oh, it was Mark who nearly had a high side coming out of 18. Beat snap for the rear. Bagnaia went through.
He almost kicked Bagnaia in the face.
Yeah, look, that show. Is that Mark? Look at the 11s he left. Is that Mark pushing too hard?
I think so.
Would that be a wake-up call?
I think it should be a wake-up call that, you know, it's lap 2. Maybe he should dial it down a bit and wait until lap 8.
Well, we had an amazing race 1 in the World Superbikes earlier on between Toprak Razgalioglu and Nicolo Bulaga. We're having an even better sprint race as Juan Mir
Costa's
dives
dropping.
up the inside. That's why Costa's got passed by 1. Would he get passed by 2? Well, no, I'm not too sure.
Mia had a wobble then as well.
Mia's not looking stable on that bike despite a good
No one
qualifying. That Honda is not going well. And now we've
Surprise, surprise, the Honda not doing well.
got the slipstream down towards the braking zone. Jack Miller's
Drop.
also in trouble. Yeah, Miller's dropped back a couple of places. There he is
pack
on the
racing
inside.
there.
Miller's got
There he is.
yeah, he's gone straight on. Miller's braked himself and gone way too deep. Is it me or was there a bit of blue smoke in the air?
Yeah.
Oh, look at Mia on the
I'm
outside.
trying to figure out who it's from.
Mia blocking off Vinales with a cutback. Vinales trying on the inside. He's not going to work. Brad Binder's in there as well in the other KTM.
They're not staying on the track, are they?
Mark's tyres and old temperature, says Tal. Sean says, Alex like, no, Pecco. You are going behind me. And wow, says Shaq as well. What an amazing start. Now Quadraro all over the back of Bagnaia for the first time this year.
I can't believe
It's not butter?
Huh?
Neither can I.
Also, I don't know, but when you said that red light and green light, I immediately thought, is this Squid Game?
Oh, yeah, I knew what I was doing then.
I've now got to watch. Start rewatching Squid Game.
I knew exactly what I was doing. Do we think Pecco is done? Do we still think Pecco is done? Says Simon Patterson on Twitter.
I think
No,
he's
don't.
almost got kicked in the face by Mark.
Bagnaia is still going to attack, but now he's a bit washed up. Because look, he's got Quadraro right behind him. He's used all these tyre strength in the beginning. Unless he's now
Bit
trying
of
to
a
save
gap.
it. Yeah. What's the gap? Well, the two Marquezes now lead by a second. 1.3 between Alex and Bagnaia.
It's Mia who has a train.
Yeah.
How he's going to get it all up the aisle, I don't know.
Just trying to keep an eye on. Pecco's falling back, they say.
I think the train goes from Mia to, I want to say, Bastianini.
I'm a bit worried that the radio coverage has just sort of stopped dead on NASCAR, and whether or not it's over or not, we now know who's on pole position. But I don't think it is because they haven't got the stuff.
There's still like 4 minutes.
Something like that, yeah. Well, I check on that. Why don't you go ahead?
Right, so it's currently lap 3, 8 laps to go of this sprint race, and that was a bit of smoke, I think, there.
Yeah.
Coming from, who are we on board with?
This is on board with Quadraro.
So that's from Bagnaia's.
Yeah, look, there it is again. There's just something coming from the back of Bagnaia. I can't tell what it is quite.
Maybe we should keep that an eye out. An
iron?
eye out.
4 iron, 5 iron. What do you want to go with on this one?
Let's play Monopoly.
Well, it's still battling hard. It's lap 3 of 10. About to become lap 4 of 10 here. Marc Marquez leads the way.
There's
6
Morbidelli.
10s coming in as well.
Oh, Morbidelli just almost fell off the bike. There's a lot of that today. People just can't seem to stay on the track. I think it is definitely like
it's ended.
Like you said earlier, that it's kind of like an effect of the rain that happened earlier on.
Yeah, I've now got to play the outro because Christopher Belli's now in pole position for the sprint elsewhere. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, keep on going. Start talking.
Right, now lap 4. And the Marquezes have really got a big gap to everyone else. And who are we looking at now? I believe that's Acosta downwards. So right now, Acosta, Vinales and Marini.
Yeah, hello to everyone who's just joined us on that one. Megan.
Acosta, he keeps making mistakes. So, hold on, what's Vinales doing? He's trying to make a move on Acosta right now. But he can't seem to find a place suitable enough to actually make the move.
There's been a couple of changes, haven't there, throughout this one, as we now get our comcam sorted. For those of you who are watching, just on Discord really. So in case Mal wants to come in and check what things are going on.
I've just realised Mark is now the prey.
When isn't Mark the prey? He's become the prey so often the past couple of races.
He used to be predator, now he's just the prey of his younger brother.
I put a prey on you. Mark's leading by, oh, hello, Bashini and Rins have dropped down. Zarco's moved up into 14th place, so that's a little change. Marquez leads. Marquez by 8/10 of a second. Guess which is which? And Morbidelli passes Quartararo. So Morbidelli sneaked up the inside as Quartararo had a moment watching Quartararo now.
Oh, he's got his groove back.
Quartararo's nearly dropped it. That's why he's gone wide. Cut to a late angle. Quartararo gets it on his knee. That's exactly what happened in qualifying.
I can hear the shock. Also, that is happening a lot to a lot of different people, though, especially it's happened to Quartararo, so he really needs to keep an eye on that. Maybe he should consider changing the tyres.
I may as well, yeah, medium seems to be the distance for tomorrow as well. Well, maybe even throwing a hard?
Yeah, I would actually say that they should throw in a hard somewhere, because these softs aren't really cutting it. They keep slipping.
One problem is that we've had no dry running practically all weekend in these conditions. We had
now we know.
We had a damp practice 2, a dry but very overcast qualifying, and now the sun's come out. It's the hottest the track's been all weekend, and we've got no data.
10-15.
Yeah, Quartararo just dropped the front, but he saved it.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is where I think it's a tyre issue.
Yeah.
Because they can save it, but it doesn't stop them start to drop.
I agree with you. I know where you're going with it.
I think definitely now that the track is heated up a bit more, that it is not a medium soft track.
6 laps to go in what is a bizarre and crazy but still energetic race. Marc Marquez leading from brother Alex. Marquez in second, Bagnaia third. Usual top 3.
Did you want to make a move?
Costa's going on Vinales as well. Back to after the two battling together. The two well, actually, one of them is the KTM factory, one of them is the Tech 3, but they've both got exactly the same bike, and Acosta's going to breeze past Vinales now into that braking zone.
It was quite smooth, I'll give him that.
Tight line, no. Vinales not backing out, but I'm afraid when you're against the wonder kid of Pedro Acosta, it's not going to work. And now Luca Marini trying to go around the outside as well.
Crash.
One Mia. There he is, he's dropped the front.
Okay.
Mia's dropped the front on the inside line into the braking zone at turn 15. He's gone straight on, there he is. So a simple drop at the front for Juan Mia. And he's out of P7. Yellow flag's out. Can he restart the bike? Well, I think he's going to try it. He has. He's kept the engine running.
Oh, that's smart. But please don't get any stones in your engine.
Gravel trap designed to stop a Formula 1 car. Tries to dig the rear tyre of a motorcycle. Yeah, that tracks. Yeah. Mia has officially rejoined the race, apparently, according to our information up here. Let's get those race control messages up that you wanted about.
Hurt as well. Crashing into that. He's holding his leg.
Yeah, let's take a look then how it happened. I'm expecting front to just go. Yeah.
Those are tough stones.
Look at Quartararo on Morbidelli. What? Other way around? Hang on a minute, this is Digi.
Yeah, Digi did not have the greatest time of it, but now he seemed to get his groove back.
Sends it up the inside of Quartararo. Very nice move in turn 7 and 8. Quartararo can't do anything about it, so Fabi passes Fabi.
It's a battle. What? Oh my goodness. Do you know how many people with names beginning with F we have in a row?
All of them, I think, apart from Fermin Aldeguer.
Yeah, he's down there.
Yeah. So we've got Franco, we've got
Mia's into the
that's out of there. So we've got Francesco Bagnaia, Franco Morbidelli, Fabio Di Giorgio, Fabio Quartararo, all in a row. So that's what, at least 4 or 5 coming up?
Yeah.
What a mad race this is turning out to be. We're not even done yet so far. It's still closing in. I've lost where my mouse is. Here it is. And
there's Mia.
There's Mia out of the race, Megs.
Oh, he looks sad, but honestly, his bike just went against a gravel trap designed for F1 and survived.
Sadly, it is the case. So, 5 laps to go. Marc Marquez leading by 4/10 of a second now to Alex.
I've seen F1 cars get beat up by that gravel.
Who was the last one? Oh yeah, Fernando.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
That was my fault. I opened up an umbrella. Over the line, 4 to go. Well, usual, Megan?
Yeah, give it about a lap and maybe they'll decide, you know, not to have a Marquez one too. Or at least to have a different order.
What about Bagnaia third?
That too.
5 races, 5 exact same results.
Bagnaia, can you do a usual and just, you know,
Well, it was here in the sprint last year.
Gavel?
He did crash. You've got the wrong one. Maverick Vinales dropped 2 places.
Not you, Maverick. Not you.
Well, you think it'd be all Americans out. This is Top Gun after all.
Yeah.
Oh, the two TBR46 teammates going side by side, nearly clipping each other. Digi and Morbidelli. Morbidelli's headed Digi, but Digi's going to come back on the inside, turn 10, and he's gone ahead. Fabulous move from Digi Antonio, and now Quartararo's going through on the inside line of Morbidelli. Down into turn 11. That's the late breakers. The 20 gets ahead of the 21.
And he's got to be careful of that because that bike is not doing good.
No, it's really not. Look how much he's already lost time, and he's holding up Morbidelli massively. Morbidelli cuts back to the inside line, down to the braking zone, swings back into turn 11, into turn 12, and moves ahead, but he's really trying to force Quartararo on the wide line, isn't he?
Is his ride high okay?
I was thinking that for a while, actually, that one.
It seems to be moving.
Oh, and Quartararo's really struggling out there. He's got back on the inside, but I know what you mean. The ride height on that Yamaha looks low, but Quartararo gets back ahead.
Is that why he keeps struggling?
Yeah. I think it's just not setting quite right. It's jumping around a lot. Yeah, the ride height on that Yamaha's not right. Well, it was scraping out on the practice start yesterday when he was going up into turn 1. On the bump,
They need to look at that.
the loose springs on the Yamaha. And
Yeah.
on the inside, Morbidelli's got him again.
It would explain why he keeps falling and why earlier on in the qualifying he caught his knee on the actual track.
Yeah, because it just sort of dislodged mid-corner. 3 to go, that's 8 of 10.
It's wrong.
Out goes Vinales into the pit lane.
Damn it, I cursed it wrong.
He was dropping back a couple of places. Maybe he's got some sort of technical problem.
I wanted Bagnaia, not Vinales.
Well, I think we're on course for a record here. When was the last time we had 5 races in a row that had exactly the same result?
I don't know, probably sometime when Rossi was about.
I don't know, but if it's the same result tomorrow, Professor McGonagall comes out and starts talking to them. Why is it always you 3? What happened to all the Rossi fans? Go, Mark. There was a lady earlier on in qualifying holding a VR46 flag.
I wonder if she supports Marini as well. You know, the bloodline and all that.
Probably, yeah. Where is Marini? P8. Marini's inside the points right now.
Woo!
Bezecchi on the inside of Binder into turn 11 and he moves ahead.
Speaking of,
there is Marini just ahead in 8th position. Now he's got a Honda engine and should be able to hold off the Ducati and KTM power down the backstretch.
Bezecchi.
Oh my goodness me! Do you see Bezecchi's twitch?
Massive twitch.
And he's gone straight on. Yeah, he couldn't brake, could he?
Yeah.
That Aprilia, massive jumps. Well, the front must have gone in and the rear stepped up, but he just couldn't brake.
I love how I timed that to perfection, especially given the fact that I saw it and I was like,
You got it spot on. The timing screen showing exactly what was going on.
I heard you talking to Dad about that earlier on.
What?
About your timings and how you know when things will happen, given the fact that you've done it for so long.
How did you hear that? That was last night.
Oh, was
at
that
like
last
11:30.
I thought I was asleep by then.
That was the only time I talked to him. It was about how I always know about when the Formula One's going to go because it's at 55:12.
Yeah.
Or 25:12.
I generally thought that was today.
No.
Was I hearing that on delay or something? Because I could have sworn that was this morning.
We have not talked about it today. I've been in the comments box all the time.
Well, I heard it.
I was awake before anybody else.
When were you awake?
Well, I woke up at 8, but decided, I thought, oh, let's just do a bit of work on the laptop and then go to the box.
I think I was up at 8:30 because I slept in.
Yeah.
Because I was...
Your alarm actually woke me up.
You're welcome.
Oh, I have several thousand alarms. Anybody who knows me knows that I always set more than one alarm. Amy actually goes on at me about how many alarms I set.
Wait a minute, I think your alarm woke me up.
It could do. Alexa is set to maximum volume.
Did each of our alarms wake each other up?
I apologise if anybody's watching that has an Alexa device and I've just set the volume to maximum.
Twice.
Yes. Alexa, volume to maximum.
Dad's going to be watching this later on.
On the inside, Marco Bezzecchi makes the move. And that's a switch back and a half. Trackhouse goes back through. So Aldeguer goes back through. Okay.
Salvadori, long lap penalty.
I agree. It's intent. Oh, shortcut turn 5. Well, Salvador is 20s anyway, so it won't do that much of a problem. Where is the long lap on this one?
You made a shortcut. Why did you need a shortcut when you're in 20th?
Long laps
I wanted 19.
Long laps at turn 13, just here at the exit anyway, so it should be easy to run off and follow wide.
What the... Oh.
Sorry, continue talking, Megan.
Okay, I'm so confused right now, and here we see...
It's the US Marine Corps 250, the Xfinity race. That's starting at 8:30. We're on air at 8:45. How's the weather in England? Lovely at the moment, isn't it?
A bit windy, but...
A bit windy, but lovely
it's
weather.
Good. It's really showing that it's springtime. It's no longer cold when you're going outside anymore. Well, not... I am now an icicle type of thing.
It's getting to the point where we can nearly have the door open.
Yeah.
To have some nice air. Although we did have a wasp in here earlier, first one of the year. Yeah, first one of the year.
No, I wasn't here.
Over the lines together.
You know me and wasp when it comes to this commentary box.
Yeah. Oh, you'd be delighted to know.
I usually barrel into you.
Yeah. You'd be delighted to know, by the way, that the green screen will be set up soon in here. And also the fact that I don't need it that much now because this can do a virtual background of its own. So, there you go.
Fun fact to everyone.
It is the last lap, by the way.
Fun fact to everyone. Wasps hate bergamot, so if you spray it around like places that they can come in, they won't come in. I learnt that when there was, unknowingly for me, a dead wasp in my room, and wasps kept coming to my window because they were trying to, I don't know, take revenge. I didn't even do anything. It just...
In the first of trying to find things to talk about in MotoGP 2025, 2 specks of white paint on my commentary monitor.
When have we painted? Wait a minute, last time that we painted, I don't even think we had this.
It was 2021, and I moved everything out of the way. But yes, it is true. Don't know where that's come from. Either way, this is the last lap. And Marc Marquez, Alex Marquez, and Pecco Bagnaia, I presume, are about to set history. When's the last time in history we had 5 races won by the same top 3 podium? I don't think it's ever happened. It's the most dominant era of MotoGP's history. This will be Marc Marquez's 5th win in a row. He hasn't done that since 2019, his last dominant year. It will be another sprint win to add to his collection, and it's the same top 3 once again. Call Hogwarts! Professor McGonagall needs to have a word with these 3 as it's battling over behind for the last points-paying positions. Un, deux, trois, repita! Over the line! Marc Marquez is the king of Kota! He sprints his way to victory! And who would have thought it? It's the same top 3 again! When will things change? But what a respect for these 3! Marc Marquez entering Ducati, and he's just dominating. And it's a Ducati top 5 as well, with Digia Morbidelli. Then comes Quartararo Acosta, and Luca Marini picks up a point in 8th.
Woohoo!
Iago at 9th. Point for Trackhouse as well in the sprint. Followed then by Bezzecchi in 10th. Aldeguer, Binder, Bastianini, Miller, Rin, Zarco, Raul Fernandez, Augusto Fernandez, Chancha, Salvadorian, and the only 2 out of the race, Vinales and Juan Mir.
I think that Marquez's father is...
Oh, it's Dax Shepard!
Ah. I think that Marquez's father is in Alex's box today. Also, I think that Bagnaia is a bit tired of getting third.
Don't bother watching the sprint. Same top 3 again. Oh, hello. Long lap time penalty. For who?
That would be Salvadori.
Failing to comply with the long lap penalty, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least we got that in before the MotoGP break and they leave us. So, yeah, Lorenzo Salvadori, 3-second time penalty. So that drops him from 20th to 20th, yeah.
such a change in position. I mean,
I don't know how he's going to recover in the championship from that.
Yeah.
I really don't. Yeah.
last to last.
Well, that was energetic start. Anticlimactic end. Kind of knew where this was going, didn't we?
Yeah, but from an analytic point of view, it was quite entertaining.
Yeah. Are we going to see more battles like that between Alex and Bagnaia and Mark?
Probably. They seem to have formed an attachment.
Yeah, they're just all together. I can't wait for race 7 of the year, which is Qatar Sprint, which is going to be a busy one. Good news, by the way.
What?
Well, with this new laptop, we can have the ability to have Discord calls. So even though we're going to be in a different commentary box together, you can join for the MotoGP races this year.
Oh.
So you don't miss that either.
Yay, more work.
It comes in handy in Qatar when we have to be split vision because we have to be in 2 different boxes.
Well, lucky that was got then.
Yes, it is. I'm going to let you go now, as we'll hand
Yay.
over to TNT. So, thoughts on the sprint? You said it was good from an analytic point of view.
Yes, so I enjoyed it quite a lot. You know me, analytics.
Excellent. Thank you, Megan. We'll see you tomorrow when Mallory Dobbs joins us in the commentary box. Did you spot Mallory, by the way, earlier on in the qualifying? She popped in for 2 minutes, took a look around, and then popped back out again.
I think I briefly did, yeah.
Yeah, she was just testing everything, making sure it was all okay. Hi, Mal, if you're watching. Yeah, but we're going to have Mallory in the com box tomorrow. Thanks, Megan. Ta-da.
Bye-bye.
So, Mallory Dobbs will be in the commentary box alongside myself and Megan, and joining us on the broadcast tomorrow. 5 out of 5 races so far. It's Mark, Alex 1, 2, and Bagnaia 3. Let's not forget that. See you later, Megs. Let's head down to TNT for the sprint podium ceremonies. Marc Marquez wins again in 2025.
Welcome back to the Circuit of the Americas. The podium finishers are heading off to the stage here in the public area as Fabio Quartararo is welcomed back by his team. I bet he's had fun out there, I have to say. 6th place in the end across the line, the best of the non-Ducati riders. This is just the start that he made, Neil Hudson.
Yeah, there were some great starts, and I think this is going to be one of them. Look at that. I mean, that's incredible to go so far forward and then be that aggressive into turn 1. Look at how tight it is into there. It's so difficult to get through. You need a bit of luck. But, this was the save. Watch him. Watch the front of the bike.
Didn't quite see it. It was underneath the graphic, wasn't it? But
yeah, let the brake off. Bike straightened itself up.
So Mark has made it down there. His team's not quite there yet. The fans have made their way to underneath the podium.
Straight away, they were talking about the slide. The slide, yeah. Alex is saying, oh, what happened there?
Pecco and Mark cordial, but it got tasty, didn't it, on that opening lap?
Yeah, that was good to see. There's one thing we know about Pecco. He's got some fight in him. He always has. Unfortunately, with Pecco, you just worry that each one of these races that go by, it's just another little blow. It's like a boxer going over, it's a long 12-rounder. Just zaps that little bit of self-belief.
One thing about Bagnaia, though, is still he's got more points than he had at this stage last year.
Yeah.
You know, he's actually outperforming.
Sì, ma com'è possibile che te ti è partita? Ma poi te
Do you know what Mark's #1 strength is? He wins when the bike's not right. That's obviously what he did for years on the Honda.
No, quando mi ha partito lì, mi hai passato te dall'esterno e lui dall'interno.
He basically said, how is it possible? Pecco said, how is it possible when you've just lost it like that you're able to come back?
Quando hai passo.
So when you've got pace, when you've got rhythm,
that's what you can do.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to say, I did not predict the start of the season to be like it's been with the Marquez brothers 1 and 2 in every race up to this point. I think we're all pretty confident that we thought Marc Marquez would be dangerous, as in the favourite. He came into the season as the favourite.
But you can't ever start as the favourite, can you, though, when you're joining Pecco Bagnaia, who's the 2-time champion in that team.
In that factory team.
And he said it himself, I am learning things, but now he has established himself as the one to beat.
Yeah.
There will be more favourable racetracks, there's no doubt about it for Bagnaia, starting in Qatar, but, you know, it will be very, very level. And Mark's got the confidence now.
Is what you don't want your opponent to have, who's leading the championship, is to have a buffer.
A buffer, yeah.
Once you've got a buffer and you are Marc Marquez, he'll risk everything because he can afford to tuck the front and lose 25 points. That's the reality, isn't it?
I don't know why they're playing copyrighted music over the stream here. I don't know how that's come on the broadcast, so I'm take over and try and mute it. There we go, that'll do. No, it's coming through in the background. So yeah, they're playing out a musical festival for the podium in the background, but it is completely too loud, and yeah, it kind of spoils our attempt to not make it. Onto the podium they come then! The top three in what is a very entertaining race. What a strategy, what a battle, what an interesting Grand Prix coming tomorrow if they can actually realistically go together. Onto the podium.
Good for the fans. I had a couple of fans spoke to who said that it actually made their weekend last year to be able to be right down there and see the riders up to the podium.
Yeah.
And we got that little young Marquez fan up on stage, didn't he, last year?
I can't remember. Did he win the sprint race?
No, but he was just up on the podium, wasn't he? Maverick.
Oh yeah, of course it was. Yeah. Yeah, I was having a bit of brain fade.
Right, let's hear from Pecco Bagnaia, third today. He's with Jack Appleyard.
Pecco, congratulations, back onto the podium again, and after an electric opening lap, how good it was to see you back up there at the front, giving it everything. What were the emotions like during that fight?
I'm happy for the result because I was improving lap by lap. I needed just too much laps to be ready and competitive, but the first laps were nice. I enjoyed a lot the battle, and tomorrow we'll try to do the same start, but maybe the first laps be more competitive.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's encouraging, isn't it, Tim?
That's happiest he's been all year. Absolutely. Here's the start. I mean, he's got a good position. You're in sixth, but you are on the inside, so you know if you get a good jump, good reaction time.
Look at that, the first few yards.
Yeah, weirdly, his actual reaction time, it wasn't anything special, but it's almost, however they've got it set on the electronic side of things, it just powered forward.
That's where Miller, just actually have a look, he got squeezed out there.
Great shots. Honestly, it's one line through here you cannot pass, and that's why it makes it even more impressive.
The two VR46 there, and just
fucking
Frankie Morbidelli as well. It's so well to stay on the track. Let's hear from Alex Marquez, another second place, his fifth in a row.
Alex, another brilliant ride, second again, but to have been in the mix in that electric opening lap, just how pleased are you? A place you don't normally like to be here on the podium again.
Really happy. I mean, honestly speaking, to be second here in Texas is like a win. I mean, if you're second after Mark, it's like a win because he's in another level. But anyway, I think we did a really good start. We attacked in the beginning. The gap with the four, the same middle was like 7 seconds, so we were pushing like hell. The track conditions were really different compared this morning, but we managed quite well, and I'm really happy for that.
Great ride, well done.
Thank you, thank you.
Another good ride. Can he push his brother further? I think with the medium tyre tomorrow, does that change the outcome, change the situation?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Probably say, being honest, not. I mean, but you never know. Sylvan's still convinced there's rain coming tomorrow. I'm not so sure.
I'm not that sure. It's supposed to be cloudy tomorrow. There is like a 20% chance. I'm not sure that will bother this man as he wins the sprint here in Kota.
Mark, it's 5 out of 5 in 2025. Victorious again here in Austin, but it didn't go to plan on that opening lap. Just how close was that big moment on the opening lap?
Too close, too close. I mean, the track conditions changed a lot. With that warm temperature on the first lap, I was pushing in a normal way, like this morning. But suddenly I realized that the grip of the track was worse. Was super close. But okay, it was some nice fight there against Pecco and Alex. But in the end, when I put my rhythm, I tried to control the gap. I did another mistake, but then I push again. So yeah, for tomorrow we need to work a bit there on that rear contact. But apart of that, the bike is working super good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
A warning for Marc Marquez. Conditions change, but still the same outcome. He is victorious here in the sprint at the Circuit of the Americas. We'll have the podium when we come back from this break.
Yeah, very nicely done then for the podium ceremony here. It is Marc Marquez victorious. What a sprint race. My thanks to you all for joining us. The top 3 in the first race, and once again, the same top 3. What are we going to see? Join us tomorrow for all the action. Next up, it is the NASCAR Xfinity Series coming up here on JB Motorsports. And tomorrow, World Superbikes. The 2 races, plus Moto3, Moto2 and MotoGP, and the Cup Series race as well, coming to you from Martinsville. Busy weekend, busy day, but it's status quo here at COTA for Marc Marquez, alongside Alex Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia. See you soon. Bye-bye.